Do all three of our bakery buddies go into the tunnel door, or do any of you stay up here to try to help local populace?
I think Fibula's ready to go down, especially after Astra went, right? Because Astra went down, right?
Astra has definitely made her way to the trapdoor to go down into the tunnels, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Willow is kind of catatonic, grief-struck, but walking behind with the massive tree suit, climbing. I don't even think she's climbing down. She waits for them to get to the bottom and then just like drops the suit down there, ready to take off.
Do any of the colors of your tree suit shift with the sorrow?
I think it's not the color of the tree, it's the weeping of the sap, which is almost like black ichor at this point, like shoving out every negative feeling through the very pores of this bark.
As you all move into these tunnels together, it is dark. You can all see just fine. Fibula, is there a sense of peace in returning back to a cave or back underground? Is this like a common safety sense for you?
Yeah, so Fibula woke up in some kind of crypt and ran away when it was invaded by something that was terrifying, and the other skeletons and other creatures in that cave were just destroyed. And I think that that's the only thing he knows of as home. He gets like small flashes of things that are maybe memories of a lived life, but all he's ever truly known is sort of dark, cavernous spaces as being that security and safety.
As you're all moving through, there is no torches here. There's no sconces for torches. You can just see in this space. You can also hear so well due to the wonderful acoustics, and you do hear the sound of moving armor, maybe a conflict even ahead of you. As Juni, you see Zachary Otterkin, a small river otter warrior, lunge out of the darkness to defend you against these foes. A small shield cut from just a small round log with a little sharpened fisherman's spear as he bravely puts himself in between yourself and these figures.
Realizing that this creature that's much smaller than me is putting themselves in peril on my behalf, I want to try to enter my moment.
If you could roll me 5d6.
One 6 and 1 1.
Beautiful. That is a success. So we have 4 in our pool, but you, Juni, have an extra d6 now. That is your hope die. You can only lose it in a failed brink roll, so it is yours. And so you see Zachary Otterkin dodging and slashing and kind of giving a come at ya type of yell at these warriors, him being one of the more athletic and exuberant of the Otterkin. You see a slash coming towards him. I will say you could put yourself in its path, but you could also not.
I'm going to lunge forward, and I'm generally a very quiet creature, but maybe for the first time anyone's ever heard, I let out a bellow that just shakes the entire cavern and try to pin my new otter friend to the ground and protect him like I did with the Minotaur in the woods.
All of you come around to a scene. There is an orange glow as one of these humanoids has now lit a ball of light on top of a staff. You see a long pointed like wizard hat on them as you hear mutter, maybe we'll level up after this. And Juni is crouched over this little otter, the tears growing flowers as you see blow after blow landing on Juni's back.
And Juni makes no move to hurt them. They don't even know how. It doesn't even occur to them. All they do is protect.
Astra, you went in first. Is that your mindset as well?
No. Astra sees this ball of light and is intent on snuffing it out. She is the tunnels now. She is the darkness that haunts the shadows of the corners around this place. And she shrouds these people, these invaders, in darkness.
Why don't you roll me 4d6?
Why don't I? That is 1 6 and 1 1.
Our pull moves to 3, and you are successful. You hear one of them mutter, "Oh, it's darkness. I think I've got a new spell I've wanted to try." And this strange, magical language begins in their mouth. You can all see through the darkness so much easier than them. Even Astra's magical darkness. You see Juni's back is beaten and bloodied, and it appears that Mr. Otterkin, is still safe and protected underneath them, as now Fibula and Willow have also come around this bend and see Astra casting the darkness into the situation.
I, unfortunately, despise trespassers who aren't friends. I think there is the almost bristling of a very angry cat, but through the shifting of bark as it becomes spikes all around her, and gently, oh so gently, lets Fibula off, and then makes, instead of a swing like she normally would when dealing with more hazardous things in the woods for others, is going to move her green spirit body through the edge of the branch and is going to snap off one of the smaller branches, which has kind of grown as the tree is growing. And it's actually a relic from the humans that a grandparent found and passed down to this very tree so that I could use it if I needed it to defend people. It's a wand. She doesn't know that, but she knows that it is powerful and it can do something. And she wants to channel everything inside of her to protect Juni, like a force field or a blast to push them away, anything to make sure that they stop taking this pain.
Before you even make this roll, what is the feeling that comes over you when your hands or your being wraps around this kept wand?
It's like a home that family built for you that you've never stepped into. It's just wood. It's just more tree. I know this. I can do this. I don't know what they're wearing. I don't know what they're speaking, but I know trees and they know me. And if our intent is the same intent, I cannot fail. Not if I'm protecting someone, because that's what life is about, helping others.
Roll me 3d6 since you cannot fail. As you see Zachary Otterman trying to pull Juni out, being like, "We keep us safe. We keep us safe."
I can't fail. I can't fail. I can't fail. I can't look. Hold on. One went all the way down to the ground. I did roll 1-1 and 1-6.
I rolled 5 dice and didn't get a single 6. So our pull's down to 2 and you succeed. Tell us what this wand does through this tunnel to these people.
I think connecting with it at its purest form of being, I think it splinters and shatters on everyone that is not Valley folk. It makes little parts of them like us now. You're going to carry this wood inside you, and it's going to hurt, and you're going to remember.
You hear one of them try to yell out, "Counter spell," and they just scream, and these little pieces of them change to splinters that are no longer splinters because it's a piece of them, and it just aches as the blood and the muscles cannot move around them. And there's these points of pain that will remain in their body. Does the wood of the wand resemble the wood of the trees you tend to dwell in? Like, is this a familiar look on their form?
Absolutely. And in fact, it almost gives Willow pause. It looks so familiar. It looks so much like family that for a second she wonders if she's done the right thing. But Juni is still breathing, so it has to be.
And Zachary Otterkin has Juni maybe pulled like a foot. They're so much bigger than this small, brave otter. Fibula, while all this is happening, what have you been doing, or are you doing?
I think that maybe there's a vague memory of weapons, and Fibula is going to look around for a knife or a sword of some kind.
There is a staff, a sword, a shield, and a knife.
Yep, I think he's gonna pick up the knife and the sword.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? The shield too. And the shield is gonna go on one bony arm. The knife is gonna stick between the ribs so it has somewhere to sit. And then he's just gonna hold the sword in the other hand.
Very Jason and the Argonauts
Exactly
style.
what I'm thinking. Yep. Just in his rags and bone, and just carrying these tools of murder. Because if they're going to try to murder his friends, he's going to try to fight back.
This is, Willow, an important question. You wanted this to hurt forever. Does that mean they do not die with this attack?
I don't think she knows if they can die, but she's trying to make sure that they feel the some semblance of the pain that they're inflicting on the valley forever. So I think it's all about the pain for her. If death comes after, it's not her concern.
Because I rolled no successes, we'll say that the pain is so distracting that it's almost as though it's a constant state of distraction. Like they cannot run away, they can't really fight back. They are just sitting there experiencing it right now in magical darkness. If Fibula wanted to inflict other types of pain, that would be possible in this moment. But you also see Zachary Otterkin pulling a bloodied Julie out, taking out a little canteen filled with rainwater because the rain always heals, and starts to try to splash it on Julie because you're so far from the sky down here underground.
Oh yeah, Fibula's going to want to walk up and just stab. Clearly.
Is this a familiar action, Fibula? Do you feel those old dungeons and shambling around in fire-lit cauldron areas return to your mind or your memory?
I think that he has seen adventurers of some kind before. So he knows what it looks like when they wield these weapons. And there might be a vague, faint memory from another life where maybe the person he once was did these things too. And there's maybe for lack of a better word, a muscle memory. Mm-hmm. But no certainty.
As you just shamble up with the intent of stab, you hear one of them whisper into a stone, "We need the cleric. We need the cleric." Which one would you like to stab first? Are you going for the heavy armored ones or the one with the glowing staff? That would be the differences.
Whichever one tried to call for help.
That would be the one with the staff. It appears they have some sort of supernatural aspects to them that the muscle did not have. Yeah. Why don't you roll me 2d6 to see how great this muscle memory returns to you in this moment?
Well, I'll tell you, I rolled a 5 and a 6.
Beautiful. The call for the cleric is cut off with such an efficient just
right into the throat. Just the sword just sort of slides like warm butter right into the flesh of the throat. And I think whoever this is with this stone talking into it just like is cut off with a gargle, and blood spills from their mouth and the slit when I remove the sword.
Fibula, what does it feel like to fight almost on the front line? The skeletons of the caves, they attack in groups of dozens, 50, 60 at a time. Right now it is you. You are not part of a herd. You are a single skeleton warrior.
I feel nothing. I just need to help my friends.
Gorgeous. You can move past these forms in the dark. You could stay here and make sure all of these three are dead, unless Willow would like the suffering to continue. You could also backtrack, but you are in a tunnel, so it is forward or backward at this point.
If my friends are still in danger, immediate danger, I will walk up and stab the next one if I can.
Without much issue. They are screaming in pain as wood is moving through their blood and their bone.
Good.
I won't even make you roll to put the other two quiet.
Right. Yeah. It's efficient and mirthless.
You probably wouldn't loot the bodies. Are you moving forward? Are you heading backward? Or are you heading to somewhere else underground? Like, you can just name a place and you know how to get there.
We need to get out. Which way do we go? I don't think we can go back.
Then we must go forward. There is the home tree, Willow. In the center of the valley, perhaps we must go there, ensure that all those who call that tree their home have found their way out.
Willow once again tumbles out of the tree suit towards Juni and begins to soothingly just rub Juni's head. I know it must hurt so much to be feeling this much pain. And even though she made more people feel more pain, that doesn't take away from Juni's at all. And she doesn't know how to heal things. So she's just rubbing Juni's head, and this time she is singing the lullaby, now that she's not in the suit, and it is at least melodic, at least familiar, because she knows that Juni is prone to weeping and wants to make sure that Juni is okay before moving forward or backward. They cannot move at all until we know that we're all okay.
Juni does stand up, indicating that they're physically okay, but their whole form is just trembling, like when a little animal is afraid, because not only is the situation terrifying, he's also never seen such violence in his friends, and it is a strange moment of grappling with gratitude and fear, even of his own companions. But he gets to his feet, shaking, and just kind of sheepishly looks for direction, willing to follow anywhere.
The cuts on your back have been mostly healed from Dear Zachary's little canteen of rainwater, but that ring around your foot, June, you're starting to kind of drag that leg a little bit. There's a numbness that's coming to that. But the way forward is clear.
I give it a sad look, but I don't draw my companion's attention to it and just keep following along.
Before we go,
Yeah.
I'm going to reach down and pick up that stone that first one was speaking into, in case there are messages back.
And because I go over to Juni and specifically am trying to make sure Juni's okay, I think I might have noticed the sad look, especially because my virtue is insightful. So if I notice that, I think there's like a breeze that begins to swirl just around that ankle, kind of like a soothing, cooling breeze. And Willow goes, Oh, terrible. Just terrible. Are you all right?
Juni gives a big sniff and wipes a tear from under his eye and then just kind of extends a flower to you that's grown on the tip of his finger. And he just shrugs.
We'll make it all right. We must fix everyone else. And she eats it, which is a sign of gratitude. Just eats the flower so that it stays in her and she keeps it forever. And she offers up her hand and says, well, would you perhaps do me the honor of holding my hand and keeping me a little safe as we make our way back to the mother tree?
Even though he's still shaking, a familiar little sheepish smile creeps up and he puts one big thick finger into your hand.
She has to hold your finger with two of her hands. And she walks like this next to you.
Willow, could you roll me 2d6 to see if your song actually heals anything, or if it was more of a comfort to a friend?
I'm okay with it being just a comfort, but booyah, that's a 6 in Nova.
Okay. You see the ring not vanish, but scab, as though something has been neutralized there. You'd find, Juni, there's a little more oomph in your step, especially in that foot specifically, and maybe in your heart as well, due to your friends being so light for your spirit and your hope. Do you all want to move to the home tree? The tree in the center you know people would run to during fires, during earthquakes, things of that sort.
Yes.
Just making sure none of you wanted to just hunt the tunnels in darkness by yourselves. You can move through these places quickly. I'll say without even many rolls. Who do you think's in the front moving through these tunnels?
I think it might be me with the shield and sword, leading the way, looking into the darkness. I imagine the skeletal figure holding a round wooden shield with two little blue pricks of light in the eye sockets.
Yeah, and then right above you, two yellow pinpricks of light as Astra gazes ahead. And she does, I would say, as we pass through other tunnel entrances, other places where we could turn off into, she does keep a watchful eye for any other intruders that might be lingering.
Wonderful of you to put it that way, Astra. So this will be a decision on your end. As you are making your way to the home tree, obviously this is the path. It won't take much longer. You look far down another cross tunnel where there's almost a dorm of area, bunk bed after bunk bed for just when people need a place, because of course we take care of our own. And you see two forms, humanoid and different, with their back to you, looking through bags and drawers and flipping mattresses. There's gotta be an item in here that's worth this fucking time. There's nobody on the ground. There's nobody hurt. So it would be a decision to deal with them or to keep moving ahead quietly and not get their attention.
I said that I would make the tunnels safe. And I am still intent on doing so.
Would you be so kind as to roll me 2d6, and on your success I'll let you just explain what you do to these people?
Yeah, on my guaranteed success, for sure. Okay, it's a 6 and a 1, so we're down to 1 dice, folks.
I rolled 3 6s, but I'll still give you narrative control over this moment because...
How generous.
Yeah, of course.
Astra separates herself from this group. She doesn't say much. She doesn't think she has to. All of them have seen the reality of these invaders. And while there are people out there who can be helped, who can be evacuated, these intruders are a plague in their valley, a rot. And Astra is intent on dealing with as many of them as she can, if not to simply kill them, then to make them so afraid that they don't come back. She is a creature that consumes the nightmares of her kin, makes them rest peacefully at night. So she has a very wide imagination for what can be terrifying. And as she approaches these two with their backs to her, very foolishly, they are once more shrouded in darkness. And they both fall unconscious. Each of them in their minds still think that they're awake. Isn't that so silly? They think they're still standing next to their friend, their partner, whatever they might be. They chose to come here, and now they are parasites. In their mind's eye, they see the tunnel begin to flood. The water begins to rise, and they quickly realize that there is no way out. The mattresses begin to float on the top, and as the water rises, they are weighed down by their armor and their stolen goods, and they quickly realize they cannot breathe. Of course, if anyone were to witness this from the outside, they would see Astra's large clawed hands covering their faces, strangling them of breath. But to them, they're drowning. And she keeps them like that until she feels them go limp.
You see shoved into the belt of one of them a broken off, like a fractured off, not a clean cut, horn, a beautiful opalescent winding horn, and you would recognize which creature carries such a horn in this forest and the sacred nature of that entity.
We spoke earlier of satyrs. There are many, of course, but there are none as noble as the centaurs who roam these woods. They carry horns like these to signal the morning, to awake those who may struggle a little bit to get up in the morning. They serve as the keepers of time and routine, because there are many who struggle with such things. The horn is one that is passed down from generation to generation. It is older than even this valley. It would not be easily given up.
And judging from the splatter of violet liquid across it, which you would know to be centaur, it was not given up easily.
No. Astra takes it from the belt, and it seems to vanish within her shapeless form.
It is easy for all of you to find the next trapdoor to come out of these tunnels. You are not far from the world tree. It would not be smart to have all the tunnels lead to the one place of safety. So from the world tree, you can find 2 tunnels that actually leave the valley, but no other tunnels connect to those. So you're able to emerge not far, 100 yards, a few minute sneak and maybe a minute walk from where you are trying to go. You wish the sun was maybe not as bright as it is in this exact moment. You see clouds to the north, south, east, and west, but there's a patch of perfect sunlight as you all emerge from a rock with a fake facade that a door opens from, and you all step out, massive, some of you, from this small, strange little stone. And you are all here. The world tree is to the west, about a minute to 3. Little Zachary looks at all of you and goes, "Thank you so much. I gotta go check on my pups, but thank you," and like hugs Juni's leg, all small, and like, "Keep each other safe. We're all we fucking got." And he just runs off into the bushes, all small and agile, as he's going to look for his kitten.
Thank you, friend.
Now
Willow,
Oh, yes. Sorry, I was literally about to say that. That was perfect timing.
Do you want to lead the way to the tree? You know it best.
I mean, I do. Yes, I do. Of course. And she's going to first, though, listen to the wind. She wants to listen to the breeze and see if they've carried any news from the trees, because the trees know what's coming, and she knows how to listen to the breeze. So she wants to do see if there's any updates.
Would you like to roll me 1d6 in this moment?
Not particularly. It's a 6. Sorry, I got excited. Sorry about
That was
singing
beautiful.
operatically.
I rolled 3 6s.
Oh.
You still succeed. It's just for narrative control. So the wind tells you many things. There are pockets of resistance here or there. The centaurs are also fighters, more so than some of the other people in this valley. They understand the stars, and it's taught them how to protect themselves. Other things, like the small little mice that all carry little rapiers, aren't doing as well, with entire family lines being cut out with a kick or with a stomp. But all around the valley, people are believing that there is something worth fighting for, as others are being put down into tunnels, secretly whisked to other lands, of course gathering the most gentle of creatures that live in this space, and those who have suffered before know that they will suffer again for the sake of these more innocent magics. The wind lets you know through all over the valley that there is resistance, there is fear, and there is so many less voices than there were yesterday that you recognize.
I think in hearing that, her hands are shaking as she wants to cover her ears, but that's not really what listening to the breeze is about. It's not about whether or not your ears are covered. She's going to hear it anyway. And as her hands are shaking, she begins to kind of crouch and like shrivel in on herself. No, 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 no. Oh God, oh God, oh, no, 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 please. Lead the way. And she's no longer in this suit of armor. She is now in her purest form of this mossy green, just like wisp of wind and willow branches. And she is now leading, would be a very gentle way of saying it, because it's if they can keep up, then she is leading. Otherwise, she's going as fast as she possibly can to the mother tree.
I think that Fibula has found his moment. I find my moment. I will find hope when I learn why I am here. I think that the violence that he committed and the walkthrough of the tunnels like created like visions of old memories of a former life, how he died, reminiscing about being trapped in that tunnel and seeing these things come in and just ruin everything and steal the gold, ending up here. And I don't think ever since coming to the valley has he seen everyone working together in this way. And that former life doesn't matter. The interlude in the crypt or tomb doesn't matter. What matters are the connections that have been made here and supporting each other, and the community we've built. And that is why I am here.
Could you roll me 1d6 to see if you find hope?
I rolled a 2.
These things are true. The world is dark. You all are moving, trying to keep up with Meadow as you're going to this world tree. I'd say Meadow's a little more focused than all of you are, just speeding there, knowing what the wind is saying. You all hear a laughing from behind a wall of shrubs, of trees to your left. But let's get some of these truths for our next chapter down. Fibula, since you were the one who extinguished this poor candle, would you like to give us the first truth for this chapter?
The community is too weak to survive, given what's coming.
Junebug. Wait, sorry, I'm after Fibula, I will say there are some in the community who have experienced this before in other places. Junebug.
Despite the devastation, a significant number of the valley folk have gotten out.
We'll see what getting out means. And we are alive. Astra, Juni, and Fibula, you hear the sound of laughter, lightheartedness, maybe even a cruel lightheartedness. But you also see that Willow is gaining ground ahead of you. It's an important decision here, to keep up or to stop.
I think Astra would stop. Again, she trusts all of you to make it there. But there are clearly still parasites to be dealt with. And she will investigate this laughter.
Fibula too, he'll say, Juni, run, follow. We will catch up.
Just wiping big old tears, potentially leaving a trail of plants in my path. I'll chase after Willow.
It would probably be best for Juni not to see this. As Astra and Fibula look through these hedges, you see a gathering of humanoids, not the 2, not the 3, more like a 5 or 6, and not nearly as elaborate in their decor, more like the generic leather armors of the infantry. Not like a knight or a wizard, but just the classic muscle. And they're having a wonderful time because one of them has like a stick branch between their legs. They're riding around like it's a fake horse. And on the end of it, you see the head of a very pale, beautiful creature with a long horn from their forehead that still is shimmering with magic and light. As Jefferson, one of the most giving storytellers of the valley, is no longer telling stories.
Let's destroy them.
Right behind you.
You have the element of surprise. So
You
if you
do.
would like to tell me something you'd love to do, I would just have you roll 4d6.
I would love to get every last one of them.
That sounds like a fantastic plan. Would you like to roll me 4d6, Fibula, here in your hollow and now hopeless body?
1, 6, no ones.
Thank Christ.
Why don't the two of you just paint me a picture in mythological forms of how the two of you sweep through these 6 and end them?
I like to imagine Astra, like, creating darkness. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. We have the element of surprise and might as well maintain it.
I imagine you creeping in like a miasma, and then they can't see, but I can. And I just walk up to them and passionlessly just gut them, like stabbing them in the stomach and like ripping, letting all the organs fall, and then slashing their throats. And moving one to one methodically, quietly.
You are already quite terrifying, and there's really no need for me to make you all the more. Instead, Astra dips her fingers into the minds of these people as they die and makes them feel the pain that they have forced upon their kin, upon their community, and reaching in, she makes their fellow men, their fellow soldiers, look like their mothers, their sisters, their wives, their children, anyone and everyone who they have loved. Astra makes them watch them all die by your hand.
It's a sonnet of trauma that echoes through this place. And Jefferson deserved such a tribute for the kind-hearted way that they raise some of the youngest critters on the oldest of stories. All of these grunts fall to the ground. There is no fight they can offer you in both of your terror and your power in this moment. Is there something to be done with Jefferson to the two? Because that would also make Meadow and Juni move a little further away mechanically.
I think that, just the preciousness that's been just ravaged. I think that, like, almost mindlessly, like, Fibula starts, like, digging into the earth with his bony fingers, trying to, like, create a hole. And then this takes some time, but then places so delicately Jefferson's head into the ground and just sort of loosely covers it.
We bury what we can.
The lightning cracks, the thunder kicks in as all the plants around you begin to sing a song for Jefferson, both warning the woods that an angel has fallen, but also telling everyone the songs that that force would sing. As you can see the rumor go through to the point where Meadow even learns of it before they reach the world tree. All the plants touching hand to hand to hand to go through this entire system. Meadow, Juni, you have reached the world tree, a massive, beautiful willow tree with a door in its trunk that's easily defensible because it's 10 feet in as a tunnel, and you can shut door after door after door while people are escaping. You see a line of brave fawns, a centaur here or there. You see a fairy, a pixie, bloodied and sturdy as they're standing shield to shield with these small, meager farm weapons against a line of humanoids that are arcing around them. You see Sander, the golden dragon that's not as large as the dragons in the mountains, but big enough for this valley, laying still and quiet on the ground as spear after spear is sticking out of it. The rain begins to close the smallest cuts, as it always does. But will it be enough? You both have arrived.
I think just at seeing the carnage and seeing what's happening, Willow has kind of pulled up short here at the edge of the clearing. And once Juni catches up with her, her hands go right back to his finger and kind of like hold on to them. And Willow looks up at Juni and goes, I don't know anything anymore. I'm going to try to do some good. You've always done so good, Juni. You know that. It's going to be okay. I'm going to make sure it's okay.
Juni nods with just the most trusting look and doesn't try to follow you, but does get down on the ground and just starts calling out to any little creatures that can climb onto his back and tries to get as many of them to climb onto him as he can before he starts running in another direction.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to do something I've never done before. I'm going to try and use the mother tree as my mech suit.
Roll me 1d6. As Juni is covered by all those grasshoppers and crickets that are playing the song of the coming spring.
Listen here. This is very important to me. Just roll a 6. It's not that hard. Okay, here we go. I did it. I can't look. It's a 5? Could I make it a 6 by doing something crazy?
If you're to your brink, you could, and that I believe is it.
I don't think I am. Yeah, I don't think I am. So I got a 5.
I'm at my brink. Was there a mechanic where you could intervene if... I can't remember. I thought there might be something like that.
Your brink would definitely apply to you, but I couldn't see how the wording of your brink would really help Meadow in this moment.
I am, though, in my moment.
You are
I
in
think.
your moment.
Yeah.
But you failed.
Let's actually blow out this candle we just failed, and then I will let you attempt again for your moment in the next roll. You'll have a few more die that time too. So these things are true. The Valley of Harmony is now dark. Willow, once again, could you give us a truth for this coming chapter?
The mother tree is sentient and loving.
And Fibula,
No amount of blood will quell my rage.
and we are alive. The mother tree rejects your advances, possibly having also given up. But Willow, this moment could be yours. Would you like to roll me 3d6 to see if you find hope, or would you like to hold on to that for a moment?
I think Willow understands why the mother tree rejected that advance. She needs to be rooted strong and needs to close door after door to keep people safe. I don't think the mother tree understands that I also need to keep people safe. I'm going to try again, but with the whistle of wind through branches and the plea of that same lullaby that I think she taught me. I would like to try again.
If you could roll me 3d6 as the song from Juni's back rises into the song that you are currently singing.
Oh, thank God. Sorry. 1 6 and 2 3s.
Beautiful. You can take an extra d6. That is your special hope dice now. The mother tree is swayed with empathy, with a maternal need to also protect the parts of you that need to protect. That is also something the mother tree grew in this valley, is the need to protect each other. How do you think this tree, older than all of you, older than some of the caves here in the valley, opens up for you, as we'll even say Astra and Fibula have reached enough into the clearing that they can see you in the distance?
If I may, I think that opening up is the opposite of what happens. I think Willow bursts forward, pure spiritual form, whistling in the tones of the wind, the lullaby, and she opens her arms for a hug. And I think the mother tree's branches also open and then envelop her. It's like a closing of all of the branches of this willow tree, weaving like those flower crowns that we made earlier, braiding her in, solidifying the connection, strapping her in like armor. And instead of being encased in the tree like she usually is when she wears a suit, it's like she has harnessed herself in tandem with the mother tree. She's not taking it over. They're working together.
And that is why you can see out of 1,000 eyes on 1,000 branches. In every direction from the mother tree, you can see through the whole little wooden ringlets and notches everywhere. Juni, before Fibula and Astra are able to catch up and reach you in this moment, and as Willow is stepping into cooperation with this tree, what is Juni doing in this moment, real quickly? There is still active fighting around this area.
Juni is continuing to gather all the little creatures that they can, whether it's beetles, snails, squirrels, anything that they can. Whispering little sweet nothings. He speaks almost every language in the forest, and it's kind of got a really weird effect of all these little writhing creatures all over his fur. And he's going to try to skirt around the violence and try to find a safe way to get them out.
You hear a perfect. Could you roll me 3d6 as a net is thrown from a hidden branch above you in a tree by two hunters, seeing that you bear a cornucopia of goodness?
I did not roll any 6s or 1s.
Did you roll your hope die also?
No. It's a 5.
Beautiful. You maintain your hope die. You don't lose that. But these things are true. The Valley of Harmony is a dark place. This will be... We will take two truths from the table for this one. Juni and then Astra.
When closet yetis die, they turn into stone.
Story of what happened here will spread, and it will keep others safe.
And you are alive. Down the endless tunnels beneath this beautiful tree, we see a small minotaur dragging a large axe. We see a young pixie that has recently inherited a crown. We see the next generation of the free and liberty-loving youthfulness within this valley, finding a way to reach a place where tomorrow can be found. That may not be the same story for everyone you now see in front of this tree, as animalkin and cavekin and rockkin are falling. If a dragon couldn't stop them, then why is this mouse so brave as it's holding like a rake up against a 6'5" laughing individual as it kicks without a worry? Is the goal to defend this tree? Is the goal to kill all the invaders? Is the goal to escape yourself?
For Astra, the goal is the kin. Without them, she has no purpose. While she may feed on their nightmares and why it may be what keeps her alive and whole, it's a symbiotic relationship. And if they die, then what good is she? So she is intent on saving as many of them as possible, and if that means killing the invaders or hiding those that can be hidden, then that is what she's going to do.
I will slaughter every last one of these invaders if it means saving one of my friends.
Let's get an answer from Willow and Juni also, so we know kind of the direction everyone's facing in their actions.
I think being strapped into tandem with the mother tree feels a little bit like tandem skydiving for her internally. It's this big leap of faith that if I'm with you and you're with me, we can do something incredible. And I don't think that Willow believes that goodness is just born or even like made. I think she knows that goodness is grown. And she feels all the way down to the roots these people able to escape, her people able to escape. And that number needs to grow. And she's going to make sure that happens. So she's going to be focused on taking out the invaders.
And Juni, you do have a net over you, but it is holding all these little creatures so close. And it's almost metaphoric how they did not notice all the hundreds of little stories covering your beautiful body right now, all the dreams, the aspirations, to just catch them all as one. Losing the nuance of your colors, just like the tree leaves around you now that spring is here.
Juni may be a coward, but he's always looked out for the little creatures, at least as much as he could. And in this last little throw of terror, he's going to try to pry, whether through the net or scrape at the earth, to create at least enough of a gap for the little creatures to try to get away.
Why don't you roll me 2d6? 3 if you have your hope die still.
I didn't roll any 6s, but I did roll a 1, so can I roll my brink?
Your hope die also counts on a 5 as a success, just so. Okay.
That wasn't a 5.
You may roll your brink, yes, and this is the only chance you could lose your hope die also. So,
So re-roll everything.
yeah, re-roll all 3 of them.
And my brink is that they have seen me hide in the face of danger, and maybe it's a little bit pathetic the way they smash their face into the ground as they try to claw their way through. But really, their only concern is that maybe these little critters can get free. But I didn't roll any 5s or 6s. Or 1s.
Your body is very strong. It can take these blows that are raining down upon it for a moment. And all these gentle, smaller creatures are once again underneath you as your tears are dropping flowers into the world they hide within. And these things are true. The valley is dark. Juni, could you give us our one truth?
When Juni dies and turns into stone, their body forms almost like a protective cave around the critters, buying them time to perhaps dig down to a tunnel below.
Juni is not too far from death at this moment. And our story continues. All of you are in this space. Picture it like almost the action slow part of a movie. All of you are moving slow motion. It's all happening simultaneously. Juni, with a net above them, as though it's trying to keep them safe too, crouches over these small, gentle animals, folks of the valley, as the hunters that drop the net drop down from the tree on the left and right of Juni. Willow, Astra, Fibula, paint me a picture of the energy that comes out of all of you here.
Probably for Fibula, it is a low simmering menace.
Are you approaching the major group? Would you be moving towards like Juni with the intent of freeing them, or are you just heading towards the violence?
If there's a way to free Juni, then absolutely I will head in that direction.
There is a hunter standing on the left and right of Juni's braced body, because they just jumped out of the tree. So we see Fibula turn that way. Meadow, you are in the mother tree. I would assume your goal is massive tree-type actions in this moment.
Correct. I want to, if I could, let the mother tree feel it. I want her to weep that sap, and I want it to stick these people in place. I want them to not be able to wipe off the horrors of what they've done. they can't get away scot-free if they get away at all. And I think pushing all of that pain straight through something much larger than myself is the only way to give justice.
And that will be our role, but we'll also let Astra say what they're doing at the same moment as more of a Astra and Fibula are around you doing activities when you're going to roll to try to make the tree feel.
Astra is both a guardian angel and an avenging one. There are still people dying around her, and those people deserve a kind death, to see the goodness that they had in life one last time and not to leave this world afraid and broken. So for them, she gives them that mercy. And for the others, she gives pain and misery.
We see Fibula just moving towards these two hunters. It will not require much work from Fibula. And we see Astra moving to take nightmares and shift nightmares and dreams and gentleness, one hand to almost bless and one to destroy at the same time. Willow, could you roll us 2d6, 3 if you have your hope die?
I do have my hope die.
To see if you can make this tree feel.
Yeah. Got 4, a 3, and a 6.
Amazing.
I'm about to literally soil meself, me honor. I'm not doing well over here. Losing it.
I've been crying for like an hour.
Trees always soil themselves in a moment of stress.
Mm-hmm. Tiny little anus right
Our
at the
new
bottom
truth.
where the roots are. Just the smallest little butthole.
God damn it. This tree that has the heart of the valley woven into its roots. That heart breaks. As small, kept, precious dreams everywhere do not respond to their mother's call. As there are trampled flowers, there are trampled homes. There are those already becoming soil, and the tree can feel it through the entire valley. Do you want this to move them to sorrow or to rage, Meadow? Sorry, Willow.
I, in this moment, have never felt either so deeply, and so I cannot distinguish between the two. For me, I think it's rage, and if the mother tree would share in that with me, it would be justified.
Beautiful. Here's how we're going to do this dice before we're down to the final moment. Astra, Fibula, and Willow. There are 3 rounds of innocence here that are trying to make their way into the tunnels. Each one of you can do a roll, and if you succeed, that wave safely escapes. If the first one fails, it fails. We will also say that when Fibula took out those hunters, that Juni, you can shake this net off, but you are covered in the smallest of angels in this valley right now. So fighting may not be a good idea for you because your armor would be their doom.
It wouldn't even occur to me to fight.
It wouldn't even occur to me to fight. Willow, could you give the first roll, being that this tree takes up the largest space here, as Astra and Fibula are to the left and right of you, braced for war?
Yep, just had to make out with them real quick, make sure they know what's up. I can't do this anymore. So I got a 5 on my hope dice and 3 and a 4 on the other one.
Beautiful.
Oh God.
Tell us how you and this massive tree, by about 30 seconds for a few families to like pull away from the phalanx and shoot down the hole, and you see a whole line of defenders step back.
I think that for the first time, Willow feels good enough. She has spent every day waking up eager to help, eager to connect, eager to be what people need in different forms, in different trees, in different suits. And now she's home with the mother tree. And not only is the mother tree not disappointed in her for feeling this rage, she feels it too. And I think the second she thinks of lifting a set of branches to like block a wave of humanoids, it's already happening. They're moving in perfect synchronization. And I think without realizing it, she goes, "Mom?" As she feels that barrier strong and holding, like she's actually real and not just a spirit hopping from place to place.
And it does hold. A few small arrows that have been lit aflame go into one of the branches. It's not a horrible wound. She is so big. And the promises that she has made for this valley have been harmony and healing and safety. A wave escapes. Fibula, would you be so kind as to roll me 2d6?
Only 2? Oh dear.
Mm-hmm.
A 6 and a 2.
Beautiful. Tell me of the violence in your dance as you hold enough time for another wave of your neighbors to get away.
I think that it's probably dark now. The light has diminished and it's evening. The lights are sort of hovering throughout the woods around us. Maybe they're glowing red with rage from the valley itself. And just sort of unceremoniously turns away from the 2 hunters that were going after Juni and just ambles over to the next wave and just starts to stab with cool efficiency.
All their weapons cannot harm you. They just slide between rib. They cannot find a heart because your heart's in this valley.
Yeah, and like the pinpricks of light inside Fibula's eye sockets like have changed to red, I think, with his own like cold rage. And he just mirthlessly and robotically goes from one body turning it into a corpse to the next turning it into a corpse.
From the way you all entered, you see a whole nother wave of humanoids come into this space, still a ways away. One of them in the robes of a holy man who sees the skeleton and begins chanting an incantation. Astra, there's one more wave that can get out right now if you succeed.
Yep, if I succeed. Surely I'll do that.
Murder the priest.
So that is a 5 and a 4, I fear.
These things are true. There is a wave of some of the sturdiest fighters that aren't you all or the centaurs or the ogre type, some of the bigger folks in the valley, but sturdy rabbitkin of those sort who do not make it where they were heading to this way, as a massive stone, as though launched from a catapult or a trebuchet, falls, breaking one limb off the mother tree and leaving a trail of ended stories behind it. There's only one truth right now, and it's that you are alive. Juni. Everything is a roll right now. You can try to run into the mother tree and save this nest around you, this almost like Snow White situation of all these small, beautiful song makers all over you. Or you could stay out here and fight. Which would Juni be more prone to doing?
Juni can think of nothing else but trying to get these little guys out of here.
You would have to dodge arrow, spear, dagger, fire. The forest screams and sings at the same time. There are flames creeping up the mother tree. The spring is not as cold as it was this morning. Would you like to give me a one? You have a hope die. A 2d6 roll. You do not. You have
I failed.
lost hope. That hit me so hard right then. If you could give me a 1d6 roll as you are trying to save these small little critters as your 3 friends are guarding your back.
That's a 5. He gets to his feet after getting out from underneath the net, trembling like a scared animal, and tries to run, but doesn't make it very far.
Sometimes we remember things in the poetry of healing and not the blood of the moment. History is written in a way that makes everything feel heroic and feel brave, when it's always been people just as scared as us, doing the right thing. Our camera fades out of a scene that we don't need to see, as all of you stand bravely and boldly until you stand no more. And you couldn't save every friend, but you could save some. We are used to happy endings, and we might not always have those, but what we do have is community. And what we do have is a history with one another. They will loot your bodies. They will take your precious things. They will make trophies of your heart and your love. They will not know the beautiful things they have ended. Later, when those with more innocent spirits come to this valley and try to explore and try to map and try to figure out what exactly happened here, they will find something, somewhere, some place that represents each of you in a way that they can understand. When they do go find a memento of your bravery and your failure, let's see what it is they find.
What are we, if not our dreams? I have never had the privilege of such things, but in my long, long life, I have had the honor of seeing what brings my people, my kin, comfort in times of fear and sorrow. I have been the thing that has brought them such comforts in their sleeping hours. I often wonder what it must be like to dream, to have a nightmare. But if I were to have one, I hope that there is someone like me out there who will scare away the nightmares for me too.
I have a faint memory of a crown of flowers, small yellow things linked with green, but it is vague and hazy. There is a sense of care and love. I will go find some and try to make 1 or 2 for my kin. I don't know them well, but they have been kind, even the ones that are scary. I am so thankful that I found the others. They accept me, even if they confuse me, and I confuse them. I will make them crowns of flowers, and it will be beautiful.
Long after I am gone, you'll hear me on the breeze. You'll feel me on the wind. There will be those who need help across a river or shelter from some storm in our valley. And I will be there, stretching out in one with the mother tree, giving shade, providing protection, because that is what we are meant to do. What is life, if not helping others through it?
In one of the more well-trafficked parts of the forest, just off the more worn trails, there's a slab of granite jutting up from the earth. It's overgrown with moss and fern. The odd passerby would probably not notice a slim crack running through its center. My name is Junebug, but you can call me Juni. This is where I call home. Here you see this massive, shaggy-furred creature slip auspiciously into the narrow cave between the stones. With huge hands ended in 3 fat fingers, I pull out pine cones and sticks gathered from the day and begin tending to a small farm of dust bunnies. That's what I eat mostly. It's a dreadfully awful thing to have to consume something else to live. But if such a thing must be, then I'll at least see to it that the food's life be full of love and joy until its destiny of being eaten is fulfilled. It's a strange thing to watch such a large beast move so delicately through such a small space, but I do, tenderly sprinkling out crumbs for the beetles and taking out a dropper of my own gathered tears to leave out for the moths. I smile a big sheepish grin across big wet eyes and toothy fangs. It's not until all the small things have been tended to that I tuck myself into a bed of moss and gathered leaves. And finally I wave goodnight to the spiders dangling in the nooks and crannies above me and slip away into sweet dreams to the tune of the stream flowing upstream nearby.
These things are true. We have one another. And the world is a dark place. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this game of 10 Candles with this amazing cast of beautiful people. I'm RahRah. That's enough about that. We're going to go around the table and I'll let all of them say hello and tell you where they can find you. It has been a pleasure to run this game here on Who Hurt You? And the answer is me and you. I think we'll start with Juni because Juni probably went out first.
Thanks. Sobbing over here. Hello, I'm Feral Moonbeam. You can find me getting traumatized by RahRah on the regular over at The Heart is a Dungeon. Golly, you guys are lovely. Thanks for having me.
What is your socials named, Feral, on the internet?
Oh gosh, there's socials. You can find me at Feral Moonbeam on Blue Sky or Twitter, but I don't really check it, or Feral.Moonbeam on Insta and Threads.
Here's all your names. I'm so flustered. You guys just fucked me up, messed me up. Astra, who are you? What's your name? Where can they find you?
Hello, yes, I have been Astra, but I am Tot or Tot Coco on most social media platforms. I am most active on Blue Sky. I am the writer, producer, and lead actress in the solo TTRPG actual play / audio drama Soul Operator. So if you'd like to be emotionally traumatized more often, we release new episodes every other Monday, but you can hear episodes early if you support us on Patreon. You can also hear me on incredible shows like The Heart is a Dungeon, Game Master Monday, Roll D5, and several audio dramas if you feel that might be up your alley.
we cannot more highly recommend Soul Operator or All Our Faults, which is a podcast that our next friend, Juicy Garland, is in that I've been listening to for like a year, and I absolutely love.
Oh, and I love you. Hi, yes, I am Juicy Garland, Boston area drag queen and super nerd. You can find me in all sorts of stuff because I'm an internet slut, like All Our Faults, a Monster Hearts 2 actual play podcast that I'm deeply proud of. You can also find me in spaces like on This Heart is a Dungeon, or on Roll D5, or a bunch of other stuff from Tabletop Talespinners, which is my home network. You can also find me at Juicy Garland or at juicy.garland for more. Oh, and I should say you can also find me on the Delta Green Dead channels, which is the official Delta Green sort of podcast that includes a whole bunch of actual plays. That is paid to listen, but you get a whole bunch of content in addition, and the Arc Dream people are really, really awesome, so you should support them. Thank you for having me. I always love playing with you, RahRah, and everybody here, you're wonderful. I want to play with you again.
Amazing. Willow, do you have a name? Who are you?
Hi, howdy. I'm Meadow. I have been Meadow and will hopefully continue to be Meadow in the future. You can find me everywhere on the internet that matters at Howdy Love Darlin or Howdy Love Darlin GM. There is no G at the end of Darlin because I'm Southern as hell. I cried, which is kind of what I signed up for. So like, brava. You can find me doing some start playing games. So if you are new to TTRPGs and would like to get into just more than listening to them and seeing the cool stuff that we do, and you want to try playing them yourself, you can hire me to do that because I'm good at it. And you can also find me writing games at Meadowlark Games with odd and underutilized mechanics. And otherwise, I guess everyone's been seeing my face too many places recently. I'm going to hermit. I'm going to reclusify. So good luck finding me. I'm in your walls.
You can find Meadow and I at Gen Con because we might be on a panel there. So if you need to see
Crying.
Meadow after they go hermit, that might be the next
Oh,
place.
good, you're going. I will be there too. I need to weasel my way into a panel.
Yay!
We want to thank Sam so much from Who Hurt You for producing this, for putting it together, for letting me just approach with kind of a, messed up story, and having the relationship and trust there to let me run it on this fantastic channel. Thank you, dear players, and thank you, everyone listening. Take care of each other, because a day will come where we need one another, and it might already be here.